Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here. And today's video, I'm just going to be going over my weekly rotation for this kind of first week of April here. I think maybe like the 2nd up through the 9th, I believe. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the list, starting off with Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was all kind of cloudy, a little bit gray overcast, not quite rainy. Still right around the 50-degree mark, but just not very bright out. The sun was hidden behind a few clouds, so just kind of had that kind of spring weather going on where I was at. So for Monday, I reached for this one, Lalique Excuse. So this right here is kind of a dry, warm, spicy, woody fragrance. Not very good description, I know. They're just kind of generic, but what you get here is there's a unique sequoia note, so that's where the woods come in, so you don't really get that in, I've never smelt it in another fragrance. And then mace note, kind of like the spray that you put in people's eyes that are trying to mess with you and you're not trying to have them mess with you kind of thing. So there's that very warm kind of, almost like the smell of orange is how that mace kind of smells. Not like orange like the fruit or citrus, but just like a very high frequency sort of spice in some sense. But so that adds to the dryness that's in the sequoia woods. But then the fragrance has this unique contrast in it from a juniper berry that gives it this cool breeze quality over top of that warm, woody, spicy quality. One of two fragrances that I did get a compliment on from the servers this week, and it seems like the sillage was good. I've been wearing this for like 3 or 4 hours when I got the compliment, and they said they could smell me in the room I was previously in, and they said that I smelled really good. Definitely a very unique fragrance. And like I said, sillage and longevity are pretty great on this as well. Perfect for transitional seasons this time here in April and springtime, but this also is great for the kind of those first couple days of autumn where the air hits that first chilly kind of morning and you're just, you could feel the summer dying out. Great transitional season right here, Lalique Excuse, and it's a cheapie. You can find it for right around $35. All right, so Tuesday it got a little bit warmer. It was like right around the high 60s, but still heavy cloud cover, so it was kind of like a gray sort of day. So I went for this one, Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver. So this right here, I've said it before on the channel, but what I get off of this is like a very clean chlorine type opening. I think like the grapefruit and the vetiver come together to give it that sort of smell that I get when I'm at an indoor pool in a very well-kept hotel. Kind of vacation-y vibes. But then it dries down into this powdery clean soap. So yeah, it just reminds me of just vacation-y hotel, well-kept, 5-star, classy and office kind of vibes going on. Like, maybe you're at a business meeting in a 5-star hotel. This is sort of the imagery that this brings to mind when I wear it. The citruses are pretty bright and sparkly, so you could wear this on a hot, sunny day, but I think it's great for those kind of warm yet slightly cloudy days because the soapiness in here is a little bit powdery and maybe could be a bit much in more of a bright kind of humid environment. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Loved wearing this in that kind of sort of cloud cover, warmer day. That's Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver for Tuesday. All right, so for Wednesday, I reached for this one right here. Could have gone with Silver Mountain Water, but I think this one has a little bit of a better of projection and longevity. Had a longer shift that day, and so I went with Club de Nuit Sillage from Armaf. So this one, the way I feel it differs from Silver Mountain Water is that the Silver Mountain Water has a little bit more fruitiness to it. I get more of like a melon vibe, the way that the blackcurrant comes together with the tea in Silver Mountain Water. This one is a little bit more floral, so there's a rose and an iris note in here, and it gives it this kind of more, almost more cold vibe from, I think, the rose, and then a little bit more powdery. The first time I smelled this one, I was kind of put off by it. It reminded me, the inky quality in this one reminded me of like the ink in a Crayola marker. Kind of something that hit me from a childhood memory. But as this sort of, I've spent more time with it, I think this is a really beautiful depiction of that a rolling brook in a mountain stream kind of picture that this brings to mind, because of that coolness that comes in, I think, from like the rose and maybe some other elements in here. And then there is that nice sort of juicy bergamot in here as well that I feel stands out a little bit more than in the Silver Mountain water. Really great stuff. Surprisingly, I think it does hold its own up against the Creed, at least the newer formulations of the Creed. And but I don't think they're redundant to own. Like I said, I think this one has it's almost like a flanker to Silver Mountain water, but still not overly synthetic, at least to my nose. So that was Club de Nuit Sillage from Armagh on Wednesday. Okay, so by Thursday we started getting more sunshine. It started looking a little bit more like how I have the weather going on behind me here. It was hanging out around like 60 degrees the entire week there forward. So I was kind of reaching for a little bit more citrusy kind of fragrances. Thursday, though, I went for a barbershop fragrance. Kind of nice, picturesque, puffy clouds, a little bit of a cool spring breeze. Went with Chanel's Platinum Egoist. So this one, I've talked about it quite a few times on the channel. It's one of my I think must-own fragrances. It is a kind of metallic shaving cream is really what you get here. It's just, yeah, like just smells like a really nice sweet shaving cream with a little bit of a metallic edge. So the marketing on the Platinum name was apt, in my opinion. You get that Chanel quality, and just super clean, goes really well with that spring breeze type environment. I was catching wafts of the geranium and lavender, and it was just like a nice, soothing, relaxing, and delicious sort of creamy barbershop sensation going on for Thursday. I also was really surprised at the projection on this one. As I was leaving work, I sprayed it on one of the younger guys there and was just kind of like, you know, here, let this carry you through the rest of the evening. And it was like, maybe it was just his skin, but it was just so potent, smelling it on somebody else. So I might go a little bit nose blind when I first put this on. But yeah, this is really some beautiful, beautiful stuff right here. I definitely recommend, and I definitely think it's worth the, you know, $110 that you can get it from Chanel directly. So that was Thursday, Chanel's Platinum Egoist. So Friday was the second of the only other fragrance this week that I got a compliment on, and that was Dior Homme 2020. Again, kind of this sort of sunny spring day going on around me where I was at on Friday. It got a little bit warmer than on Thursday, probably a higher 60s instead of like high 50s. But yeah, just really nice kind of tart citric opening, and then a powdery woodiness with a little bit of sweetness from an elemi resin that kind of reminds me of Dior's Eau Sauvage. Classy, long-lasting, good projection. I do go a little bit nose blind to this one, so I couldn't really smell it on myself by the time I was getting the compliments on it. I think there's like a heavy dose of Isoe Super in here, and that's a aroma chemical that kind of gets my nose pretty blinded. But yeah, this is, like I said, you know, I think the elemi resin gives that, to me, elemi resin kind of comes off as a little bit of like a black licoricey type sweetness. And so you get that kind of going on underneath of that powdery woods and the citric tart qualities up in the opening. For me, this is kind of like a blending of the best of Terre d'Hermès and Eau Sauvage Parfum. Which brings me to Saturday, Dior's Eau Sauvage Parfum 2017 version. So Saturday was my daughter's birthday. So we had a birthday party for her in the back of my restaurant. Had some family over and hosted them there. I was wearing the 2012 version when in the delivery room when she was born. So this is probably going to be my go-to scent of the day for her birthdays moving forward. So yeah, April 8th was her birthday, so this is a great fragrance to bust out during that time of the year, at least where I'm at here in the Midwest. Beautiful, kind of, like I said, that elemi resin gives it a little bit of like a black licoricey type sweetness. Some really, really beautiful citruses on top. I think citron is the fragrance note for the citrus in here. Really creamy kind of barbershop quality as well from a super well done lavender. and then a really nice woodiness coming in from some vetivers. Amazing stuff. One of my favorites, recent pickup, but definitely one of my go-to fragrances from moving forward. If I had to get rid of my entire collection and keep only maybe 5 or 10 fragrances, I might even just go full Dior, because they just have such a great quality offerings across the board for every kind of season, and this one is definitely one that I recommend owning as well. And it's pretty affordable. I got this for like 100 even on Aura Fragrance, I believe, so check this one out for sure if you haven't. And then finally, Sunday, it was getting up there. It was a little bit warmer, probably high 60s. It was nice and sunny, and we went, my wife and I had the day off because the restaurant was closed for Easter, and we went and took a walk, nature walk out at the local park where we were at, and so this was the fragrance that I was wearing, walking around out there, enjoying that nice spring weather. This is Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme, the vintage made in Italy version. This is a tester bottle. I think there's a lot of fakes going around of this online, but the testers are a little bit harder to fake, if at all. So if you do pick one up, maybe look for the tester on this one. But yeah, it's really got kind of like the same scent profile as the current formulation of Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme, but it's like the current one has its like saturation moved way down, so it's like a gray, watching this fragrance in black and white on the TV, in some sense, is how I could describe it. This one just has like so much more of a brightness going on. Not in any way, I mean, the citruses are a little bit more well done in here, even though since this is vintage, they've kind of dissipated off the top some. But, and then this also just has like a very unique creaminess from the like higher quality lavender in here that isn't quite in the current formulation of it. But just catching the most beautiful wafts of this as I was walking around outside at the park that day. Incredible stuff. I might make this my scent of the day today. Today's a perfect day for it. We'll have to see though how I'm feeling once I get done uploading this and heading into work. So I'm actually running a little bit late now, so I'm going to cut this now that we've gone through all 7 fragrances that I wore this first kind of week of April here. So let me know what you've been wearing this week. Comment in the comment section down below what your rotation was. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.